A billionaire returned home unexpectedly and was shocked to find his son with the black maid. Before we get into this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. And let us know in the comments where you're tuning in from. Now let's continue. The air was filled with the scent of fresh herbs. Soft sunlight streamed through the window, casting gentle shadows across the gleaming marble countertop. At the center of it all sat a large silver pot on the stove, decorated with vegetables arranged as if for a photo shoot. But inside the pot wasn't what anyone would expect. It was a baby. A giggling, chubby white baby boy about a year old. His soft brown hair curled slightly from the heat, his rosy cheeks flushed with joy as he splashed at a bundle of parsley and a yellow squash. Frozen in the moment, standing above him, was Tasha, a black woman in her mid-30s. Her dark, smooth skin contrasted with the crisp black and white uniform she wore, complete with ruffled sleeves and a matching headband. Her hands cradled the baby's small body inside the pot, keeping him steady. But her wide eyes locked in horror on the figure across the room. The door burst open. Alexander Pierce, 38, a billionaire tech mogul, stood frozen in the doorway, his light brown skin flushed with shock. His eyes were fixed on the sight before him. His baby, his own child, sitting in a pot on the stove. His mouth fell open. "What the hell is this?" His voice echoed through the silent house. Tasha flinched. "Mr. Pierce, wait. Are you out of your mind?" He stormed toward them, nearly slipping on the tiles. "Get him out. Now." Tasha quickly scooped the baby, still laughing, completely unaware, out of the pot and cradled him to her chest. "It's not what it looks like," she said. "Then what the hell is it?" Alexander snapped, his face bright red with anger. "You put my son in a pot with vegetables. Are you trying to get arrested?" "I was giving him a cool bath," she replied sharply, a rare edge in her voice. "He's getting a rash. The doctor said lukewarm baths and sitting in greens would calm his skin." "You don't put a child in a pot on the stove," he barked. "The stove wasn't on," she fired back, then caught herself. Her breath shook, her voice softening. "Please, I would never hurt him." Alexander's hands were still trembling. "Why were there tomatoes? Zucchini? Got parsley? Do you even realize how this looks? Do you think this is some kind of joke?" Tears welled in Tasha's eyes. "He loves it. He thinks it's playtime. I've done this before. Ask the pediatrician if you don't believe me." The baby squealed with delight, tugging at a sprig of cilantro still stuck to his little belly. Alexander looked at his son, laughing and healthy, and then back at Tasha, whose eyes were struggling to stay calm. He took a step back. His voice dropped, cold and cutting. "Who gave you permission to treat my son like some backyard science experiment?" Tasha's jaw tightened. "No one had to. You weren't here." The silence between them grew thick. Alexander exhaled, blinking. "What did you just say?" "You weren't here," she repeated softly. "You've been gone for over a month. No calls, no updates. He needed care. Attention. Well, and I gave it." Alexander's face twisted with confusion, shame, and anger. His eyes darted from the baby to Tasha. She rocked the baby gently, who was starting to fuss. "I didn't expect you to come back. No one did." He looked away for a moment, trying to process. "You're just the maid," he mumbled, almost to himself. "I'm the only one who's been here since his mother passed," she answered calmly, her words sharp. "Don't reduce what I've done to a job title." Alexander paused, really seeing her for the first time, her shaking hands, the exhaustion in her eyes. The baby's arm hung loosely around her shoulder, and suddenly, the bizarre scene before him started to unravel as reality set in. He stepped back. "I need a minute." "You've had plenty of minutes," she murmured under her breath. He froze. "What did you say?" She shook her head, her voice soft. "Nothing, sir." Alexander turned and stormed out, muttering something about needing air. Tasha remained in the kitchen, holding the baby close. Her legs felt weak, her throat tight. She glanced down at the vegetables still scattered around the pot, then at the baby's face, now softening into a sleepy smile. "Couldn't wait until nap time, huh?" she whispered, brushing a curl from his forehead. A tear slid down her cheek, but she held on tight. Meanwhile, Alexander paced in the hallway, hands pressed against his temples, his jaw clenched so hard it ached. The cold marble floor beneath his socked feet felt like ice. But all he could hear were the echoes of that baby's laughter and Yvette's words. "You weren't here." He wanted to scream at someone, at her, at himself, at the silence that hung in the air. Instead, he sank into the leather armchair and stared blankly ahead. He had gone to London for a business deal. What started as a few days stretched into weeks, 5 then 6. The board needed him. The investors were breathing down his neck. And through it all, he convinced himself that it didn't matter, that a baby wouldn't even notice. He rubbed his face in frustration. "A stockpot," he muttered. "Jesus." Then he heard footsteps, slow, measured, not in a hurry but deliberate. Tasha stood in the doorway holding the baby close. He was dressed in a small onesie, chewing on a plastic spoon, his eyes droopy and tired. "I put him down for a nap," she said, her tone even. He nodded, still silent. They stood there, the room heavy with unspoken words. "I'm not going to report you," he finally said. Tasha raised an eyebrow, her gaze unflinching. "I wasn't waiting for that. I was angry," he admitted, standing up but still unsure. "You have to understand how that looked." "I do," she replied calmly. "But you need to understand something too. That child, Ethan, he cries for you at night. Every time he hears a car door, he looks toward the hallway. Every time the phone rings, he reaches for it, like he thinks it's you." Alexander looked away, his heart sinking. "I don't know what kind of father I thought I was being," he whispered. "But my silence didn't protect him from my absence." "That's not fair," he said. Tasha stepped closer, her eyes steady. "Fair? You dropped him off into my care 2 days after the funeral and disappeared. No goodbyes. No instructions. Just your credit card on the table." Alexander's chest rose and fell with a heavy breath. "I didn't know how to face him after Amelia." "Neither did I," Tasha interjected, her voice shaky. "She was my friend too, and yet I showed up." Alexander lowered his eyes. "You're right." Tasha blinked, surprised by his admission. "You're right," he said again, more resolute. "I ran. I told myself work needed me, but the truth is, I couldn't look at Ethan without seeing her. I didn't know how to hold him without feeling like I'd break him." Her lips parted, absorbing his words. "I came back today because I missed him," he continued. "I thought maybe I was ready." Tasha crossed her arms, her gaze firm. "Then be ready. He needs you." Alexander moved to the window, staring at the neatly trimmed hedges, his reflection faint in the glass. "I thought having money meant I could buy time, buy help, buy forgiveness." Tasha remained silent. "But seeing him happy, safe, even if it seemed crazy, I realized I've missed everything that truly matters," Alexander said, turning back to her. "How do I fix it?" he asked. She sighed. "You don't fix babies, Mr. Pierce. You show up for them." Alexander nodded, his resolve hardening. "I want to be involved now. I mean it. Can we start over?" Tasha studied him for a moment. "Not for me. For Ethan." A long pause stretched between them. Then Tasha turned toward the hallway. "Come on." "Where?" "He won't sleep long. He'll wake up looking for someone." Alexander followed her down the hall. The room was soft, warm, and the crib gently rocked to the sound of a faint lullaby. Ethan stirred slightly, sucking on 2 fingers, his eyes fluttering open. Alexander stood over him, unsure. "Can I pick him up?" Tasha nodded. "Support his neck. Don't rush." With shaky hands, Alexander leaned down and carefully lifted the child. For a moment, Ethan squirmed in Alexander's arms, then settled against his chest with a soft whimper, followed by quiet. Alexander's breath caught as he instinctively adjusted, holding the baby closer. His eyes shut tightly. Tasha stepped back, watching silently. "I forgot how small he is," Alexander murmured. She gave a small smile. "Wait until he chucks a spoon at your face." Alexander let out a soft chuckle, tears slipping down his cheeks. "I'm sorry," he whispered to Ethan. "For everything." The baby shifted but didn't wake, simply resting in his arms. Tasha turned to leave, but Alexander's voice stopped her. "Tasha." She paused and turned back. Thank you. For loving him. For staying when I couldn't. She nodded once. I didn't do it for you. Alexander's gaze lingered on Ethan. I know. That's why it means more. Tasha looked at him, no longer the billionaire, no longer the absentee. Just a father, learning, perhaps too late, but still trying. And maybe, just maybe, that was enough to begin with. If this story touched you, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more heartfelt, dramatic, and surprising stories. And don't forget to share where you're tuning in from in the comments. We love hearing from all of you. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious,